Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for being with me. You are here with Resilient Leadership with Rashida. I am super excited to be with you guys today. For those of you all who don't know me, my name is Rashida Hatchett. I'm a registered nurse, entrepreneur, author, speaker, and a resilience coach and strategist for leaders. I am excited to dig in this week, you guys. We have been talking about leadership skills and how we can develop them and how we increase leadership skills and what that looks like. So this week, we are going to talk about developing people skills. That is one of the most important parts of being a leader, is to have really good people skills. So if you guys remember a couple of weeks back, we started to talk about communication, and developing leadership skills really is about communication. The biggest way that we develop leadership skills in this area, right, is to make sure that we are listening. You guys got that? Making sure we're listening. So your team is always going to want to feel like they've been listened to. Everyone wants to feel heard, and everyone should feel heard. It is your responsibility as a leader to make sure that the people around you feel heard. So as leaders, we do a lot more listening in many areas than we do talking. In many areas of our working world, we do a lot more listening to our team, hearing what their thoughts are, hearing what their feelings are, listening to how the policies that we put in place are affecting them, and then responding. But a lot more listening. If you find as a leader you're doing more talking than listening, it's time for you to take some inventory in why you're talking more than you're listening and how you can change that. Because you want to always be listening more than you're speaking when you're trying to make sure that you have developed some really good, solid people skills with your team. They really believe that they are being listened to and heard. So making sure that that is a part of how you're growing as a leader, listening. We also want to make sure that we are asking people for their input. Before we put policy and procedure into place, we want to make sure that our team has given us their input, that the boots on the ground, those folks who are going to be doing the work, have told us how this should look, what they think is going to be the most helpful. And then after we've rolled it out, we're listening to them to find out how it's working. If it's working, did it have the desired outcome that it was going to? Okay. So when you put those things together, when you're listening, when you're making sure that your people feel heard, when you're assuring that you have given them the opportunity to speak their piece and to give you feedback on how you are doing as a leader and how your policies and procedures are affecting them as your team member, it helps you to make sure that you have done all you can to develop those interpersonal skills that you need in order to be a good leader. Every great leader's job is to inspire. That's what they do. If you've got a leader that's around you, and we all have had one, that nothing that they do is inspirational. Everything seems to be just a little bit about them, or it's negative, and you just feel like, this is hard. That's not true leadership. That's just someone who's there doing the job and has the title. True leadership is going to inspire those around you to be better. True leadership is about creating leaders within your team. You want people on your squad, in your team, that are going to give you everything you don't have as a leader. They've got all the skills that you don't. And so if what you're doing is not inspiring the people around you to be better leaders, then you're not quite doing your job well. And it's time to look at your interpersonal skills and see what might be lacking, why the folks around you aren't inspired to be better, do better, to give more, and to make sure that the mission and the values of the organization are being met. So Assuring as a leader that you're listening, that you're getting feedback from your team, and that you're seeking feedback from your team is always going to help you create better interpersonal skills. And as a leader, you want to have the best interpersonal skills that you can, because you want to make sure you're inspiring your team to be better and do better. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope this was helpful. Drop in the chat what really resonated with you about today's quick chat. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for being here. You can find me at Rashida Hatchett Media. You can also find me on Instagram at Rashida Hatchett Media, and you can find me on LinkedIn at Rashida Hatchett Media. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and remember that resilience is your superpower.